Oh, here we go again.
Welcome into the video, welcome into the channel. Hope everybody's doing well out there. And yes, your eyes are not deceiving you. That's not one, but two PlayStation 5 Pro boxes on your screen right now. And I might have a problem, guys. So what this video is going to be is a volume 2. Okay, think of it as a follow-up to the video I just put out like a day or two ago at the time of recording this. And what that video was talking about, in case you haven't had a chance to check it out, is a big issue that I discovered very early on with my brand new PlayStation 5 Pro, the original one that I had ordered. So, little backstory there. In case you haven't checked out that video, I highly encourage you to do it. But for the original PlayStation 5 Pro, when PlayStation Direct opened up the pre-orders available to the public back in like late September, I was one of those people that hopped into the queue, waited my turn. When I finally got in there, I went ahead and pre-ordered the Pro. And because I'm not a bot, unfortunately, the 30th anniversary Pro was not available. That was already sold out. So my main objective though was to get the regular Pro anyway. So I went ahead and placed my pre-order, waited over a month for it. Launch day came, of course, on the 7th. I got my Pro delivered and proceeded to unbox it. First thing I did was I swapped over my Samsung SSD from the original PlayStation 5. Seamless transition there. Shout out to Sony, like I said in the last video, big W in the ability to just take the SSD out of the original PS5, install it into the Pro, and you don't have to do any crazy formatting or anything. All your games that are on that SSD will pop up on the Pro. That's a big shout out right there. That's a big W. But anyhow, so got everything switched over, powered it up, got it all set up, was ready to game, and I noticed within just a few minutes of it running a big problem, okay? And it was very noticeable, and it was very concerning. So much so that I decided to do an entire YouTube video dedicated to it, just to see if I was alone in that, just to see what sort of comments I would get as far as that's a big problem, you definitely need to return that or exchange it right now, to no, mine has that too, that's just going to be part of what we have to deal with this particular mid-gen refresh of the console, whatever you want to call it. Well, first of all, big shout out to all of you. I have so many comments on that video already within like the first 48 hours of releasing it. And I would say that 99% of the comments are saying that's not normal, that's not safe, box it up, exchange it. Mine doesn't have that problem. So that kind of told me right there that it was kind of unfortunate that, you know, I must have gotten one that's either defective or, you know, anytime there's a mass-produced item like this, you're going to have some that just slip through the quality control, and it looks like I may have gotten one of those. But one of the things I talked about in that video was because my Pro console came from PlayStation Direct, I wondered, what about the Pro consoles that you can buy through other outlets like Best Buy, Amazon, GameStop? I was curious to know if that same issue would pop up with those Pro consoles. And I didn't see a whole lot of comments on that from my video. So me being who I am, me being blessed enough to be in a position to do it, I went headed over to my local Best Buy. They had some in stock. I went ahead and picked up a second one. So I went ahead and unboxed that one, got it all set up, did the exact same process, swapped over SSD, got everything booted up. Here's my findings so far. The PS5 Pro console you see running over on the right that's displaying this game, EA Sports College Football 25, that's going on in the background right now. The issue that popped up so bad and so prevalent on the original Pro 5 console is still there. A little bit, okay? So if I get right up to the console, I could still pick up the issue. It's there, okay? Which tells me it's probably something inherent with the design of the power supply and the components that go into that. It's there. And all of you that say that you don't notice this issue at all, I challenge you to fire up your Pro console, go into a game, okay? Whatever game you pick, something that's gonna crank up the intensity and make it work hard. I challenge you to go get right up to your Pro console and check out things right up to it, right by the power supply, and you come back and tell me in the comments on this video if you still can't pick up that issue, because I'm not sure I'm gonna believe it even if you tell me that. Because this now makes 2 straight Pro consoles from 2 different outlets and probably 2 different batches of production, as Cade Klubnik just waltzes into the end zone here with Clemson. I'm willing to bet that yours has the issue as well. It's just not as prevalent as like my original one, which is exactly what's going on with this Pro. So Pro console number 2, which happens to have come out of the box that's on the right-hand side of your screen, this is tolerable. And what I will say is that if Pro console number 1 from box 1 over there on the left was at this level of the issue, I wouldn't have even made a video about it, and I would have just dealt with it, and it's okay, it's fine. I can deal with this level of the problem. And I would have never made the first video. However, it's way stronger because I hooked up that Pro console. I was literally able to do side-by-side comparisons running at the exact same time, and I can tell you it's way worse on the first one. So I thought I would just go ahead and do a follow-up volume 2 and just say, well, I know I asked for comments on video number 1 saying, hey, if you got your Pro console at Best Buy, Amazon, GameStop, wherever you got it, as long as it wasn't PlayStation Direct, I wanted to know in the comments section if you encountered that same issue. And I went ahead and did my own empirical research, and I could tell you, at least from the one from box A on the left to one box B on the right, it's still there, but it's not nearly as bad, and it's more tolerable, which is still disappointing. I mean, I know that, you know, they had to really crank up the components in there for heating and cooling, stuff like that, because of the, you know, the more powerful GPU and the pisser upscaling and all that stuff to get the better visuals and the frame rates and all that. I get it. I know that kind of comes with the territory, but at the level of the problem on the first Pro console, that's unacceptable in my opinion. You know, and like some of you said in the comment section, I don't know how safe that is to be able to operate that console, especially in a room like this one that's not all that big with a door closed. If you're gonna have a long game session and you're gonna be in a smallish room with the door closed, I don't know how safe that is with what is going on with the original console, the original Pro that I have. So I mainly just want to do a follow-up and say, hey, I got a second Pro console. It's way better. It's still there, but it's better. And I'm going to keep the second Pro console. I'm going to go ahead and make some moves with the original Pro console and be done with that one. While I'm here on this video, can we just talk a little bit about for a second the game that's going on in the background, which is EA Sports College Football 25. That game just happened to be one that showed up on the original list for Pro enhancement as far as games that were going to be available at launch. And I'm going to talk to you for a quick second about the things that I noticed immediately that are different between College Football 25 on my regular PS5 versus on the Pro Enhanced. And I noticed it right out of the gate. And the very first way I noticed it was in what I would call like the cutscenes, like this, where you see people in the stands cheering or booing. They're pissed about a bad play. Your quarterback just threw a pick, whatever. You just scored a touchdown and they're doing their touchdown or end zone celebrations and whatnot. I noticed it right away as, man, Klubnik just got up right there. Body slam from Washington. Anyway, right there. See this cutscene with the mascot? The biggest difference I noticed between the regular version of College Football 25 for the regular PS5 and the Pro Enhanced version, man, that's a beautiful tackle, are these cutscenes. And what I'm noticing is the frame rate is drastically different. Now, I've got these boxes in the way, so I'm going to attempt to pull it up on the screen. You probably won't be able to see the frames. Oh, you can. So, as you can see here, you know, 4K resolution, that's not changed. The frames appear to be locked at 60. That's the exact same as the regular version. But what I'm noticing is that in this right here, the cutscene where he's like holding his junk on the ground there because he got racked or something. This right here, this is so much more smooth than these same sort of cutscenes on the regular PS5. And that's not to say that they were poor or not tolerable on the regular PS5. I was just fine with it. It looked good enough for me. But the Pro Enhanced version, this right here is where you're going to see the biggest difference, because in normal gameplay, I'm not noticing a big difference in frames and smoothness of gameplay in normal gameplay. And the other part is I went through the settings menu. Right as of right now, at the time of filming this video, I'm not seeing like some setting I can turn on in the menus like Pro Enhanced, like you would see in God of War Ragnarok. You go into the display menu and you'll see it's automatically turned on for the Pro, but it'll say like Pro Enhanced and PSSR. I'm not seeing that here on this game. So I'm thinking EA just put out an update that just was kind of like, what do they call it? Like, I don't want to call it a ghost update, but like a soft patch. In other words, it just appeared in the game, but there's not like settings you have to manipulate. It's just there already. And I played this back to back, first on the Pro, and was like, okay, let me go back to the regular PS5 back to back and make sure I saw what I thought I saw. And sure enough, the cutscenes like right here, the frames are not as smooth. They're good, they're just not as smooth. And I can't even, and since I don't have a real way to measure this besides, you know, what's on the TV, you know, the frame counter here, this is telling me it's locked 60 whether you're in normal gameplay or the cutscenes. Like, I'll wait until he gets up. Like this right here, notice the frame counter doesn't change, okay? So I don't really believe that, because the frames are definitely different, or it feels different, or it just looks like everything's kind of slowed down, more soap opera effect in the cutscenes, and in regular gameplay, it feels the exact same. I mean, I don't know. That's just my initial impressions, and I got to tell you, you know, the fact that it was an air quotes free upgrade to go for the Pro Enhanced version of this game, you didn't have to buy any extra add-on or anything and install anything, I'm totally fine with this. You know, this game is beautiful in my opinion. The graphics are really good in my opinion. I mean, look at this. Especially on this G4, man, gaming on this G4, and especially now with the Pro Console, is an unbelievable experience. Especially now that I have one with a tolerable level of a problem. But anyhow, I've gone on long enough. I just wanted to do a quick volume 2 to the original, because I got so much interaction on that one that I really appreciate that. I wanted to go ahead and film a volume 2 with a totally different Pro Console and kind of let you know what my findings were. So for all those that have watched that video and have now made it over to this video, all of you that are subscribed to the channel, you had the bell on and you already, you know, you watched this right when I released it. Shout out to you, as we see a safety there from big ass number 11 Woods. Look at these graphics, man. This is so good. So good. Anyway, shout out to you for watching the video. Shout out to all of you that took the time to watch that video and comment and let me know how your Pro was doing and if you encountered that. And if you're into this sort of content, you're into display technology like LG OLED displays, what kind of ass kick was that? You're into gaming and gaming settings. I got a bunch of content coming with settings like how I have my LG G4 here set up for Pro Console gaming. I'm going to be bringing that out. That was a nice pass right there from Klubnik. I'm going to be talking to you about how the settings are different between the Pro and the regular PS5 as far as how I set up the display. All that stuff's coming. If that interests you and you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell. You don't want to miss that content. But with all that being said, until the next one.